Hello everyone, dear viewers. We are pleased to have you all return with us for another thrilling episode of Mind-Blown Moments, the program through which we examine in greater detail some of the most striking and insightful events that have unfolded to mold our history in dramatic ways. Today's journey is one through which we are going to go deeply into a really heart-wrenching event that recently occurred. The extremely devastating earthquake that struck the country of Myanmar on the day of March 28, 2025. The devastating tragedy did not only affect the citizens of Myanmar exclusively, it extended its influence to neighboring countries like Thailand and many other parts of Southeast Asia as well, producing a wave of problems that cut across Myanmar's borders. In this engaging video presentation, we will delve deeply into the intricate details surrounding this catastrophic earthquake event. We will explore the unfortunate lives it claimed, the extensive damage it inflicted on the surrounding areas, and the subsequent ripple effects that spread across the entire region. So, without further ado, let's get started on this important topic. Part 1. The earthquake and its epicenter on March 28, 2025. At approximately 3:00 p.m. local time, a huge and powerful earthquake measuring a colossal magnitude of 7.7 on the Richter scale hit with immense force right. The epicenter of this intense seismic activity was positioned close to Mandalay, which is the second largest city in the whole country. The seismic waves produced by this earthquake were so amazingly strong and powerful that they were not just experienced all over Myanmar, but also in neighboring countries, including Thailand, Laos, and Bangladesh, as well as extending to areas in China and Vietnam. This earthquake that occurred was indeed one of the most powerful and intense seismic events that the area has ever experienced in recent times. It led to violent shaking of buildings, resulted in road cracking, and induced a high level of general panic among the residents of the area. The tremors caused by the earthquake lasted some long minutes, but in that short time, they caused an unimaginable amount of damage, leaving communities in absolute ruins and, worse still, claiming many lives. Part 2. The impact of casualties and the widespread damage experienced in Myanmar. The crisis in Myanmar has continued to worsen and become more alarming. As it stands, the number of fatalities has unfortunately exceeded the terrible benchmark of 1,000 lives lost, and over 2,300 people have been injured to varying extents. The ground zero of this disastrous incident, which is located close to the city of Mandalay, bore the brunt of the devastation and destruction. Whole multi-story buildings collapsed to the ground, with numerous people left trapped under the massive rubble and debris. Furthermore, residential quarters were completely leveled, and key infrastructure, including major roads and bridges, were severely damaged, further exacerbating the crisis. Relief efforts have been slowed by damaged infrastructure and ongoing aftershocks. Rescue crews, even Myanmar's own military junta, have been working to try to help survivors, but the extent of the damage is overwhelming. International aid has been requested, and neighboring countries to Myanmar are mobilizing to help with relief. Part 3. The significant impact in Thailand. Just a few hours after the devastating earthquake hit Myanmar, the powerful vibrations resulting from this disaster extended their reach into Thailand, where the ground trembled underfoot and buildings groaned menacingly, as alarms wailed loudly throughout the city. In the sprawling capital city of Bangkok, the impact of the earthquake was no less than a disaster. The nightmarish collapse of a partially constructed 30-story building resulted in at least 10 reported fatalities, while more than 40 workers were reported missing. Following this gruesome event, the scene at the site was chaotic, with rescuers scrambling to find survivors beneath the rubble. The city's emergency services were stretched to the limit, and the government declared the capital a disaster zone. The Thai government has pledged its full support to both local and international recovery missions. The effect of the earthquake did not end at the direct and catastrophic collapse of numerous buildings and structures. Instead, it had an even deeper and longer-lasting influence on the people of Thailand, many of whom were already themselves struggling with their own personal adversities and issues even before this natural disaster struck. This tragic circumstance serves as a potent reminder of the vulnerability to which we are all susceptible as human beings, wherever we happen to be in the world, or whatever our own specific circumstances may be. Part 4. The wide-ranging ripple effects which spread across Southeast Asia. The earthquake's tremors echoed across all Southeast Asia nations, from Laos, China, and Bangladesh to Vietnam. In the Yunnan province of China, houses were toppled, and 2 people were injured. Luckily, Myanmar and Thailand were hit by the worst of it, and the worst damage occurred there. All the nations in the region are now directing huge recovery efforts at rebuilding and reactivating the devastated zones. The majority of these nations have already formally committed to providing essential supplies, deploying medical staff, and offering technical support to assist the most devastated zones of recent events. Part 5. The impact on the economy and the effort at recovery. The financial cost of the earthquake is still being established, but it is obvious that the damage wrought by this disaster will be extensive and long-lasting. In Myanmar, the destruction of key infrastructure, especially in the city of Mandalay, will have long-term consequences that will affect various facets of life in the nation. The buildings, roads, and bridges that were lost or ruined will need to be reconstructed with caution, an undertaking that will evidently require a significant amount of time and substantial amounts of money to realize. Thailand is already suffering from huge economic setbacks after the fatal building collapse, and it has severely damaged its existing infrastructure too. The repair costs will amount to astronomical figures, which are bound to exceed billions of dollars. Nevertheless, industry experts have warned that the overall economic toll of the earthquake can exceed even more if the rehabilitation efforts are delayed or derailed in some form. Part 6. The significant role played by international aid in international relations. In such instances, when the world is faced with significant issues, international support becomes an even more critical factor than usual. The recent earthquake has brought about a powerful surge of support from surrounding countries, various organizations, and governments from around the globe. Especially in Myanmar, nations such as India, China, and Thailand have already made public statements to donate and assist essential relief efforts to help the victims of this disaster. The United Nations also recognized the necessity of the hour and stepped in by offering emergency relief, graciously offering essential supplies like food, clean water, and medical supplies to those in dire need of assistance. International experts are on the ground to help rebuild infrastructure, provide technical support, and train local workers so that recovery is efficient as well as sustainable. Part 7. The road to healing and restoration. Although the road to recovery is sure to be long and difficult, there is always hope that still glows like a beacon of light. The survivors in Myanmar, Thailand, and throughout Southeast Asia are displaying unprecedented strength and resilience in the wake of the tragedy. Various communities are uniting and rallying to support each other in times of adversity, proving to be united in their efforts. Moreover, the international response to this disaster has been prompt and effective, reflecting a collective sense of urgency. Time and again, history has proven us how human nature tends to unite and stand by one another in times of adversity, and the scenario in the wake of this earthquake is proving no exception. With each passing day, the number of survivors of this unthinkable tragedy is increasing by the hour, and with that, the focus of the efforts is gradually changing towards the essential task of rebuilding what has been lost. The resilient Myanmar and Thai nations have suffered and survived an unimaginable degree of devastation and loss, but their remarkable strength and unwavering determination will undoubtedly see them through even the darkest and toughest of times ahead. Conclusion. In conclusion, it is clear that the earthquake that struck Myanmar and Thailand on March 28, 2025, has made its mark on the region in an indelible fashion that will not be forgotten anytime soon. This disaster is a stark reminder of the sheer force of nature and how incredibly brittle and vulnerable our world can become in the face of such disasters. The severity of the destruction wrought has been nothing short of catastrophic, affecting hundreds of lives and communities. Yet, in the midst of this tragedy, the reaction of local residents and international communities has been nothing short of inspiring and heartwarming, highlighting the fortitude and solidarity of individuals coming together during crises. As we see the recovery process unfolding before our eyes, we can only hope that the remarkable resilience and strength of the populations affected will finally carry them through to a much brighter and more promising future. Thanks for viewing this video from Mind Blown Moments. If you think this video is informative, please like, share, and subscribe for additional content about major world events. Until next time, be safe and take care. See you in the next videos.